Welcome and good day everyone. So for today we will be going through chapter 11, okay, about internet. So in this chapter you will learn the internet history, internet working, okay, and lastly the multimedia on the web. So class, what is the main purpose of using internet? Okay, so basically we use the internet to correctly access information, okay, check on Google, okay, email, and go to YouTube sometimes, okay. So you can do a lot of things on the internet, but essentially if you have an internet, okay, we allow computers to work together to communicate or exchange information, okay. So back to my question just now, okay, the purpose of using the internet is to connect millions of computers via a global network. Okay, so which means that the internet is a network because you have linked all these different computers around the world, okay, allowing you to interact and share resources on all platforms around the world. So it is a network of networks that consists of millions of private, public, okay, academic, business, government networks of local to global scope that are linked by a broad array of electronic, wireless, and optical networking technologies. Okay, so basically without the internet, okay, you cannot send your email, okay, you cannot watch YouTube, okay, so because the videos in it come from videos around the world. Okay, so we are essentially connected to the internet through a global network. So here you can see the 10 most popular uses of the internet, okay, based on a recent, based on the survey, okay. So let's go into the history of internet, okay, internet history. So it began in 1969 with research conducted by universities, okay, and then in order for the military to exchange information, okay, or pass the information without loss of contact with each other, okay, they came up with this idea. So they set up a network, okay, and this research funded by the ARPA, okay, or known as Advanced Research Projects Agency, okay. So this network is called as ARPANET, okay, and only 4 major computers at university in the southwestern US, including the UCLA, okay, Stanford Research Institute, University of Utah, okay, and UCSB, okay. All of this are connected to this network, okay. So this network is used for military purposes, okay. So as time goes on, by 1970s, ARPANET continued to expand, connecting many more sites, okay. And by the 1980s, the TCPIP suite of networking protocols, okay, becomes the only set of protocols used on the ARPANET. Okay, so this decision set a standard for other networks and generate the use of the term internet as the network of network, which either use the TCP/IP protocols or able to interact with the TCP/IP networks. Okay, so currently we use the term internet. Okay, so what we move on to the internet working. Okay, so what is a network? Okay, so a network is a cluster of computers, okay, and how it works, okay. One computer will act as a server to provide network services to the client computers of network, okay. So these networks services include for file transfer, okay, email, and also the document printing. Okay, so for example, you have a printer and all these different computers are clients. Okay, you will have one computer which will act as a server which will control which client will be using the printer. Okay. So there are two types of network. Okay. LAN and also the WAN. Okay. So for the LAN, okay, if the network is located in small area, it is called a LAN. Okay. For example, homes, offices, okay, or schools. Okay. So on the other hand, companies that extend across a large geographic area need a WAN, okay, or wide area network. For example, LAN plus LAN plus LAN equal to WAN, okay. So WANs enable the user to share and access applications, services, and others centrally located among corporate HQs, branch offices across the country, and data center facilities. Okay, so next we have the IP address. Okay, so IP address stands for Internet Protocol. Okay, it consists of 4 numbers. Okay, ranging from 0 to 255. Okay, separated by periods or dot. Okay, so if you take a look at this here, okay, this is how an IP address looks like. Okay, so you can search your IP address, okay, in the Google. Okay, so why do we need an IP address? For example, okay, where you live, you will have your own address, okay, because it identifies where your house is, okay, where you live. Okay, so when it comes to your computer, they are connected within a network. Okay, it will have their own IP address. Okay, as you can see here. Okay, so IP address identify each computer, okay, to communicate over the network. So you can try this. Okay, if you want to find your IP address, okay, on your phone, okay, or on your Android. Okay, so next we have the domain name system, okay, also known as a DNS. Okay, so basically it developed to assign names and addresses to computers linked to the internet. Okay, for example, I want to send an email to my friend. Okay, so I remember her email. Okay, marisa@gmail.com. Okay, but sometimes it can be difficult for me to remember her IP address. Okay, like I said, each computer is identified by its own IP address. Okay, so domain name system will assign names and IP address to computers linked to the internet. Okay, so instead of you remember the IP address, okay, you can remember the domain name. Okay, so next is top level domains were established as categories to accommodate the users of the internet. Okay, so first one, com, okay, .com, commercial entities, KEDU, okay, for example, uitm.edu, .my, okay, so gov, government agencies, okay, and then .net, okay, biz for the business, okay, and lastly, for the organization. Okay, okay, and next is the second level domain. Okay, is built up from the top level domain just now. Okay, it contains huge numbers of computers and user accounts representing local, regional, and even international branches, as well as various internal business and management functions. Okay, for example, okay, we have the apple.com. Okay, as you can see here, okay, this is the World Wide Web, www. Okay, so this is the second level domain name. Okay, so this is Apple, okay, and then .com is the top level domain name, and we have protocol here, HTTP. Okay, so now, okay, moving on to TCPIP. Okay, so basically whenever we want to communicate on the internet, we need to follow maybe a certain protocol. Okay, let's say you want to send an email to your friend, okay, or you want to search or open the website. Okay, so these are all communication within an internet. Okay, so for example, in order for us to communicate and send this kind of information over, okay, we need to go through TCP IP, okay, stands for Transmission Control Protocol, okay. So these two protocols, okay, we must use in order for us to communicate, okay. So TCP, okay, when a stream of data is sent over to the internet by your computer, okay, so the TCP will break that data into packets, okay. So each packet will include the IP address, okay, the sequence number, error correction of information, and a small piece of your data, okay. So these packets will be sent by the internet protocol. So IP or internet protocol is responsible for sending the packet to its destination. Okay. Alright. If you want to connect to the internet, you can use any of these connections to connect to the internet. Okay. First one, we will have to dial-up connection, broadband, okay, and also the wireless connection. So, telephone dial-up account, okay, and modem or a cable modem or a DSL, okay, or digital subscriber line is required for network connection through an internet service provider. Okay, so next we have the bandwidth, okay. Basically, the amount of data expressed in terms of bits per second, okay. You can send from one computer to another computer in a given time, okay. We call it as bandwidth, okay. So basically, the greater the bandwidth, okay, the lesser will be the time taken for text, images, sounds, okay, animated illustrations to upload or download from computer to computer. Okay, so hence the downloading and uploading time of your computer will be quicker. But low bandwidth modem connection are a bottleneck for sending multimedia across the internet. Okay, but we can avoid it. This bandwidth bottlenecks, okay, with the following options, okay. You can compress data into zip, okay, and any kind of any type of these files, okay, before transmitting, okay. You can oblige users to download data only once, okay, and then store that data on the system hard disk, okay. You can design multimedia elements to be efficiently compact, okay, and then you can design alternate low bandwidth and high bandwidth navigation path to accommodate all users of the internet, okay. And lastly, you can implement incremental streaming methods, okay. If you have a slow connection, okay, you can play the low quality video, okay. This is the example of the YouTube, okay. Instead of you play the high quality video, you can use the low quality video, okay. Next thing, we have the internet services, okay. So too many users, okay, the internet means World Wide Web, okay, or www. But the web is only the latest and most popular services, okay, for you to email, file transfer, discussion groups, real-time chatting, okay, voice, video, okay. So each internet service is implemented on an internet server by dedicated software known as a daemon, okay. So daemons are agent programs, okay, that run in the background, okay, and wait to act on request to internet services, okay. Basically, it is a software located inside an internet server, okay. So, daemons support services such as hypertext transfer protocol, okay, for www, and then a post office protocol for email, and lastly a file transfer protocol for exchanging files, okay. So for HTTPS, okay, we use for posting and reading, okay, encrypted secure documents. So encrypted here meaning that we can convert the data, okay, into a cipher or code, okay. So to prevent unauthorized access, okay, to secure your document. So for FTP, okay, file transfer protocol, okay, we use for transferring files between computers, okay, with password protected. Okay, so next we have the multi-purpose internet mail extension, okay. So these are the extension that you can use which will be supported by the browsers, okay. So for example, you want to attach the video, okay, to compose message using your email, okay, you can use this kind of the extension, okay. You can use .mp4, okay. So next we have the URL, okay. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator, okay, known as an internet address or web address, okay. As you can see here, the HTTP is the protocol, okay. www or World Wide Web is the service, okay. And you have the domain name here, UITM, okay. That one is the second level domain, okay. And this is the top level domain .edu, okay. MY or my stand for country code, okay. So you can see the explanation, okay, at the bottom here. So we continue with the multimedia on the web, okay. So the World Wide Web was designed by Tim Berners-Lee, okay. It is a protocol for linking multiple documents located on computers anywhere within the internet, okay. So the HTTP provides rule for a simple transaction between two computers on the internet, okay. So for you to establishing a connection, requesting that the document be sent, okay, sending the document, and lastly closing the connection, okay. So it provide all this kind of rule, okay. So for the HTML is a document format for presenting structured text mixed with inline images, okay. So moving on to the dynamic HTML and XML. Okay. HTML is fine for building and delivering uncomplicated static web pages. Okay. But sometimes you will need other tools and programming to deliver dynamic pages. Okay. They are built from text, graphics, okay, animations, and information contained in database or documents, okay. So for you to create dynamic web page, okay, you might need to use Java, okay, JavaScript, okay, PHP, okay. So for the XML, Extensible Markup Language, is used to format and deliver web pages using styles. Okay, it different from the HTML. Okay, you can create your own text in XML. Okay, to describe exactly what the data means. So when you create a website, you should provide a user-friendly interface, okay, in order to create the website, okay. So you can present in text, images, audio, animation in a user-friendly interface that balance bandwidth deficit, okay. So you need to understand how to deliver multimedia content for HTML browsers and also the plugin player vehicles, okay. And you can enhance capabilities provided by XML, Java, JavaScript, okay, QuickTime to enable browser to exceed their limit. Okay, as you can see here, development of HTML standards is stressed by rapid release of tools and increased demand for features. Okay, so web servers are contain web pages. Okay, so a client is the user. Okay, so a client will use the browsers to access those web pages from the servers. Okay, and then in order for us to access and search the web pages, we can use search engines. Okay, so you have a Google, Bing, a Yahoo. Okay, and when it comes to creating a website, you can use web pages makers, okay, and site builders. You have two types, okay. You have the HTML editors and also the HTML translators, okay. For the HTML editors, it allows you to create a program from scratch, meaning that you need to write the coding, okay. So for the HTML translator, allows you to export a word process document to HTML text, okay. So you can use this kind of HTML translator, okay, to convert to the HTML editor. Here are the example. You can try it online, okay, in the website. So basically, the internet connects private companies, organizations, universities, and individuals, okay. And you must know the internet is a cluster of computers, okay. And the ISP provide network connection through a dial-up account, cable modem, or DSL, okay. And you must remember the domain name system, okay, the internet protocol, okay, the internet protocol address, okay, and also the HTTP, okay. And for the JavaScript, Cold Fusion, and XML can be used to generate the dynamic web pages. Okay, so that is the end of this chapter.